Good morning, everyone. Today we're on live platforms, but we are remoting in. Give me 1 second here. Okay, Zach went a little early on it, but I think we got situated here. We're going off of decisions all month, and what does decision making mean? Well, we're deciding to go somewhere. We're always on the move. Life does not end until we're off to another place. So we're always making decisions, and we're always creating or disintegrating. That means we're going where we want to go, or we're just doing things. And when we're doing things to no real purpose or no real direction, we're just getting results that are mediocre and that we truly don't want. So the key is knowing what you want, having a plan, being organized, and knowing exactly what you're going for. In order to do this, your decisions need to be proper, accurate, readable, measurable, trackable. And when you can do this, you're going to be trailing and blazing your way through all the obstacles, all the I don't knows, all the learning curves, all the things that you need to go through to become the person you want to become. Life didn't just show up and give you everything that you wanted. It's giving everyone the opportunity, but it's up to you to create it. And a lot of people don't understand that. Life is never exactly perfect to what you want. It's perfect to what you know. Some of you may have been born in wealthier families, well off, good habits, good behaviors, maybe programmed, have automatic things in place for you. And if you were, then that's great. But you as well will get to the point when you try to go beyond what you know, you're going to get stuck. And this is what we all do as human beings. We all can do what we know how to do. It's whenever it's time to go beyond that we get stuck. And it's also beyond that gives us the freedom. As well, when we're stuck, we're not satisfied. And this is completely normal. And it's perfect for that reason. Because life is teaching you that you're always meant for more, meant to give more, meant to have more. And as you get a better understanding of life, which is living intelligence, fulfilling experiences, you start to use a creative side of your personality, and you begin to create life by design. And that's what we were meant to do and to be. I want to play this video. We're going to go over the razor's edge and how it's important to do these things in a certain way and understand the way not to do it. It's what everybody else does. When I say everybody else, look at the people. Are they getting the results that you want? Are they living life to the fullest? Majority are not. Majority are just living. Take this video, we can take notes, and we'll come back to the lesson.
A quiet room in the Millcroft Inn, a peaceful little place hidden back among the pine trees about 1 hour out of Toronto. It's just past noon in late July, and I'm listening to the desperate sounds of a life or death struggle going on. There's a small glass short in a futile attempt to fly through the glass of the window pane. The whining wings tell the poignant story of the fly strategy. Try harder. But it's not working. The frenzied effort offers no hope for survival. Ironically, the struggle is part of the trap. It's impossible for the fly to try hard enough to succeed at breaking through the glass. Nevertheless, this little insect has staked its life on reaching its goal through raw effort and determination. This fly is doomed. It's going to die there on the windowsill. Now, across the room, just 10 steps away, the door is open. 10 seconds of flying time, and this small fly could reach the outside world that it seeks. With only a fraction of the effort being wasted, it could be free of its self-imposed trap. The breakthrough possibility is there. It would be so easy. Why doesn't the fly try another approach? Something dramatically different. How did it get so locked in on the idea that this particular route and determined effort offer the most promise for success? What logic is there in continuing until death to seek a breakthrough with more of the same? No doubt this approach makes sense to the fly. Regrettably, it's an idea that will kill. Trying harder isn't necessarily the solution to achieving more. It may not offer any real promise for getting what we want out of life. Sometimes, in fact, it's a big part of the problem. If you stake your hope for a breakthrough on trying harder than ever, you may kill your chances for success. Now, you know, I was talking to Price Pritchett one time, and I said, how did you come to do that? Well, he said, I was at the Millcroft Inn. I was there working for 3 days. The second day, they were going golfing. I was working for the Mercer Corporation. That's a financial institution here in Toronto that has a group of salespeople. And they were doing this thinking, I guess, over at the Millcroft Inn. I have worked there myself on a couple of occasions. But at any rate, he said they were going golfing on the second day, the Wednesday, and they asked me if I wanted to go. And he said, no, I think I'll stay in and work on my book. And he said, I was sitting there and nothing was coming. Now, anybody's ever done any writing they will know. You go to sit down to write and just nothing. You're drawing on nothing. It seems like there's a vacuum in your head. And he said I couldn't run. So he said, I decided I would just sit back and pay attention to my environment. I thought, what a hell of a bright idea. And all of a sudden, here's this fly. Now, a simple little move about paying attention to his environment, that's something we could follow, we could do from time to time. There was a recording out. In fact, there was a book written on it. Just 1 degree. Water boils at 212. At 211, the water's not boiling. At 212, the water will boil. Now, you can get up 213, won't make any difference. It boils at 212. But it doesn't boil at 211. That 1 degree makes all the difference. Well, do you know that that's sort of the way it is with our life? Now, I would imagine that a lot of the people that are in the inner circle are in sales. I love selling. I always think of if I'm ever filling in a survey, used to do them on planes every now and then, and they ask what I do, I always put salesperson. Always. I always wrote salesman, and then as things changed, I changed with them and I put salesperson. And that's how I've always thought of myself. Now, I want you to think, I study every morning. I study every morning. Sometimes I study with people, and sometimes I don't. For the past while, Sandy Gallagher and her writing instructor, Allison Deardorff, the three of us have been studying together for quite some time now. The inner circle was started. People are always saying, what do you study, Bob? What do you study? Well, they want to know what I study as if it's going to make a difference. And so I think it was Sandy that suggested we start the inner circle where I teach people what I study. And that's what the inner circle is. Well, I study every morning. Now, think of this. It's, I always say you don't have to be the brightest guy in town. I don't think I'm that bright. I just think I'm consistent, persistent, disciplined. You don't have to be overly brilliant to win. You don't have to be overly brilliant to be multimillionaire. But you do have to be consistent, and you have to be persistent, and you have to be disciplined, but not necessarily the smartest cat in town. You really don't. We look at people that do well, and we have a tendency to think they're so smart. Well, most of them aren't that smart. Like when in London many years ago, I realized I was being rather irresponsible, and I thought, I was just throwing money all over the place, and I was going down to Playboy and playing roulette, and didn't care whether I won or lost, and I usually won. But one day I thought, I'm being irresponsible. And then I thought, how the heck did this happen? How did my life change so dramatically? How did it change so dramatically? And I couldn't come up with the answer. I did not know. There was a bunch of little things I did, but I wasn't thinking of them. You see, my life had changed so dramatically. Now, I want you to think of a person that is really struggling. Any job was a dumb job. I got a job, it was always been a dumb job. Where anybody could get the job. Anybody, they'd hire anybody. Always earned minimum wage, never earned beyond minimum wage. And I was 26. And then all of a sudden, bang, like that, everything changed. So I thought, well, how did that happen? You see? And it was just a little thing it was this book, a couple of words from Ray Stanford, and my whole life changed. So here I was looking back at that time where everything was really this bad news. And here I am. I'm running a company that operates in 7 cities and 3 countries, and I'm earning over $1 million a year, and I'm gone to Playboy, Play Roulette, didn't care. And I thought, I'd been raised to believe that if you're going to earn a lot of money, you got to be really smart. I knew I wasn't very smart. I knew I wasn't, but I was earning a lot of money. Now, some of you think you got to be really smart. You don't have to be very smart to earn a lot of money at all. Smart and money there's no relationship there. People think there is. There are smart people that earn a lot of money, but you don't have to be smart to earn a lot of money. See, because we see there's smart people earning a lot of money, you think that everybody that earns a lot of money is really smart. That's not true. It's not true. It's always a very, very fine line. Like right in the start of the chapter on Razor's Edge. You're only 1 inch, 1 step, 1 idea away from turning onto a boulevard of beauty in your life. He says, often it's said that the line that separates winning from losing is as fine as a razor's edge. And it is. And I'm talking about winning in a big way in all areas of your life. W. Somerset Maugham wrote an entire book entitled The Razor's Edge. Daryl Zanuck has spent $4 million producing a movie which had the same title. Both these great men, author and movie maker alike, knew there wasn't a big difference among people. There was only a big difference in the things they accomplished. That was the theme of the movie and of the book as well. Now, do you know, I remember someone that was in seminars, I'm going back 25 years, I think, brought me in a magazine. It was a great big magazine. I forgot which one it was. But it was a popular magazine. And it had, the centerfold was about Daryl Zanuck's movie. And it had the people that were stars in the movie on one side, on one page. On the other side, they're stand-ins, the people that were stand-in for them. And I'm going to tell you, they looked very much alike. And they talked about it insofar as the movie was concerned there in the magazine, how the stand-ins, ones that stood in for them, are very much like the stars. The star's getting $75,000 for the movie. The other person's earning $7,500. That was the difference. It was things like that. The ones earning $75,000 for a part would have been a lot of money in those days. I'm going way back. This is in the 40s probably that movie was taking place. And then you could look that up. Who was the star of Daryl Zanuck's movie, The Razor's Edge, and who was his stand-in? You know who it is, and it's not coming to me. But at any rate, see, there's a razor's edge difference. The razor's edge difference in the star and the stand-in. The stand-in has to look like the star. Got to be same height, same weight, facial features very much the same. Because Manhattan to say stand-in is to stand in for the star. And so the idea is that you won't notice the difference. You'll think it is the star. Well, it's not the star at all. You put the screen on, Scott, please. I want you to think. Here I am here. Conscious faculty, see, hear, smell, taste, touch. Okay, there's a power flowing in. And that power, when it flows in, it just is. And I can make it good or bad. Okay, I'm 25 years old. Almost all the ideas that come in almost everything I was getting emotionally involved in. That controlled the vibration, and of course, it controlled the results. Okay? I'm 26 years old. This is me. I'm talking, this is not some myth. This is not some made-up story. I met Ray Stanford, and he got me to take a look at my results. And he got me to think. This is our thinking mind. He got me emotionally involved in an idea. He asked me if I ever read anything, and I said, no, I can't read. Now, that was not true. I could read. But because I never did read, and I didn't like reading, I said, I can't read. People that don't read are usually people that aren't interested in anything. People that do read are usually very interested in something. And they'll either read on that subject or read a multiplicity of subjects because they got broad interest in their life. Well, Ray got me to stop and take a look at my results. I was not a very happy guy. I wasn't the healthiest cat in town. And when it came to money, I was always broke. Always. And I was blaming on the fact that I had not gone to school. I only had 2 months high school. I had no business experience. And he pointed out to me, he said, that's why, Bob, that's why you can't. He said, did you ever think of how you could? That's a razor's edge different, isn't it? It's as fine as a razor's edge. It's just the flip side of the coin. And you know, I don't need to go through the whole story. He got me interested in the idea that's in this book. He got me to sit down and decide what I wanted and got me to write it on a card. And he got me to stretch my mind and get a big idea going. And he got me to get emotionally involved in it. Now, how did that happen?
Just tap on it again, Bob. You'd be okay. Tap on it. There we go.
So good to have you here, Scott. Okay. Now look it. Same 5 senses. But he got me studying, and I found out about perception, the will, reason, imagination, memory, and intuition. What he got me studying is my marvelous mind. And he got me to understand that this was universal intelligence. And he helped me understand, although it was a huge idea, that this part here, he said, there's a part of you that's a part of everything else, Bob. Your subconscious mind is universal intelligence. He says, you're hooked up to this whole universe. Now, did I understand that? I didn't understand what the hell he was talking about. But I can say to you today, here's the phone. Scott's on here on this call. This is how he's communicating with me. He is in Manchester, England. Dolly, you're not invited to this. She doesn't understand she's not invited to the seminar. But this phone is here. Scott's in Manchester, England. And how far are we apart? This phone and me, that's how far we are apart. Somebody come up with this magnificent idea. We didn't always have this idea. We didn't have this idea when Ray introduced me to this book. We couldn't have done what we're doing now. That did not exist in our vocabulary, in our way of thinking, but it existed here in universal intelligence, you see? It existed there. So I had to start to learn something about universal intelligence. And I had to understand that my subconscious mind and universal intelligence are all the same thing. When you tap into your subconscious mind, you are tapping into all it is. Now, I'm just putting some lines here and taking those lines out of it. Now let's keep thinking. Let's keep looking at this. That was when I was 26. Now I am 86. Okay? What have I gained? I have learned how to use these higher faculties: perception, the will, reason, imagination, memory, and intuition. I had them all then, but I didn't know how to use them. Now, if you've ever been in a seminar I'm in, you know that I am a very intuitive guy. I can walk by you and I'll tell you all kinds of things about you. I could shock you what I know about you. And if I've never met you before, how can I tell you? I can read your energy. I can read your energy. If I can read your energy, you can read my energy. And you're probably a razor's edge away from learning it. See, some of you think that I'm different than you. You think I'm different than you because I'm the chairman of a company that operates all over the world. I earn millions of dollars. I'm no different than you. I am absolutely not different than you. You have all these higher faculties too. You see, Ray got me to really think. I want you to really think. The difference between 26 and 86 is as fine as a razor's edge. You say, my God, Bob, there's 60 years difference there. Well, that's what it would appear. It's not so. That's an illusion. Do you know what I'm doing now, you can be doing now? There's no end to what we can do. We don't really believe that. There's such a fine line separating you from everything that you want that you're missing it. This is just a big idea, I told you, and you probably have difficulty with it. Look here. That's your subconscious mind. It still is. It hasn't changed. Okay? We call it universal subconscious mind. It's universal intelligence. That part of you is a part of me. That's why telepathic communication works. We communicate with each other telepathically. It's going on all the time. You go to phone somebody and on the other end you say, oh, what a coincidence. Is it really? There's no coincidence. There's only things we don't understand. Now, just me rubbing out that line, that could change your whole perception of your life. It's simple little things that make the big difference. Listen, I picked up this book. I started to read it. And I made a commitment that I would read it every day. I read it every day. Not very much. I'll show you how I read it. Some days I'm in a rush and I'll just come in and just go like this here. Many philosophers have made the statements that man is the master of his own earthly destiny, but most of them have failed to say why he is the master. The reason that man may be the master of his own earthly destiny, and especially his financial status, is thoroughly explained in this chapter. Man may become the master of himself and of his environment because he has the power to influence his own subconscious mind, and through it, gain the cooperation of infinite intelligence. Now, isn't it strange that I would open the book right there? Now, it was not planned, it's just opened. I'd read that, and then all of a sudden when I read that, I'm not quite as busy as I was. And I stop and I'll think on that for a while. And I'll think, damn, that's a big idea. Now, that was, let's say, October 1961 that he got me reading it. Do you know that in less than a year, I was earning tens of thousands of dollars? When I picked up the book and I started to read it, I made up my mind I would do anything that was honest to earn money, because I was broke. He said, you can earn all you want. And some guy said there's good money cleaning floors. I said, I am not proud, I'll clean floors. Now, that attitude has stayed with me right up to today. I always say to people, if I've got to carry the boxes, I'll carry the boxes. Get your pride and your ego the hell out of the road. Do what has to be done to accomplish what has to be accomplished. Quit playing games with yourself.
All right. Man is the master of his own fate. Now, everything we just went through is quite a bit of information. I hope you guys are taking notes. We take notes when we think something is important. And when we think something is important, we're ready to learn. When we're ready to learn, it means we're ready to change. Why is change so important? Because if you don't change you, nothing else is going to change. Each and every one of us are ready for something more. We want something more. But very few of us are willing to do the doing what it takes to be something more. And more often than not, we're normally trying to do more of the same, just harder. Much like the fly that Bob was talking about, the fly in the window. And that story came from Price Pritchett. And that was that fly, even though the freedom was just on the other side, he kept deciding just to do things harder. Try harder, try harder. And that's not the answer. I've done this several times. And we're playing a mental game. It's all mental. Mental game. Why is it mental? Because everything starts off in the mind. Everything. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're at. Everything's a mental game. And you're playing a game with yourself. And some of you are playing the game so well, you think you're trying to outwit yourself. But it's not working, is it? You think that everything out there is somebody else's fault. You think that something out there are conditions and circumstances that maybe weren't meant for you, or that you can't have, or you just haven't accomplished it yet. Let me tell you, it's a mental game. And you got to get mentally involved with the things that you desire to the point to where you're working towards accomplishing them. And you're not going to stop. And it's all about having your mindset with the right mental attitude, positive mental attitude, seeing yourself doing the thing that you want to do before you go and do it. Today, we're off to take care of some business out of town. Why? Because I chose to. Why? Because I chose to. What are you going to do today? Where are you going? Did you choose? Did you really choose? Or are you doing it because that's what you know how to do? How many more days, how many more weeks are going to go by? How many years need to go by till you really figure out what it is that you desire. Yep. Bigger than that, what you're willing to give up to get to the thing that you desire. Nothing is free in life, and everything you want, you've got to work towards it. That also means you have to let go of the things that you were doing before that were not serving you, and they're not getting you to go to where you want to go. You will never take great importance in something until you know that that thing is going to take you where you want to go. I remember Bob talking about the book and he telling Ray Stanford that, he didn't read. Couldn't read. Of course he could read. He's just never chose to develop it. He never found something interesting enough to develop his ability or desire to read. I started to look at this information many years ago. And before I met Bob, I was studying a bunch of old books, a lot of the same books Bob was studying. And it started to change my life. And the reason it started to change my life is because I knew I was meant for more. I knew that I was meant to be somebody, to do something, to have a better life, to have more opportunities in life. I knew that I was meant for more. The question is how much is more? What is it that I'm going to do? I had to figure that out, and nobody was going to do it for me. It doesn't matter how much you want something for someone else. You cannot win for someone else. You got to decide what it is that you want. You got to figure it out. Nobody's going to figure it out for you. And then you got to get up and do it. Everything that you desire, all the results that you want, only you can change it. I want you to take a look at what we're doing. I want you to take a look at these classes that we're doing, these programs. And I want you to buy into the idea that you've got to invest in yourself. If you don't invest in you, nobody can change you. You're going to earn the same amount of money. You may earn a little bit more, but you'll always find that it's going to go away from you. You're always going to lose it because the law of vibration states you always get more or less what you are. Even if you do stretch a little bit more, you do earn a little bit more money. You're going to get to the point where you just cap out and you can't earn any more. I know this. You got to invest in yourself. I invested in myself many years ago. I still continue to invest in myself. It's the best habit I ever picked up. And I spend a lot of money on myself. But that's how I keep improving myself. If you think about something, think about the idea. You really want to give something a lot of thought. Think about the idea on how much money you earn and how much you never spend on you. Truly spend on you that's going to benefit you. Not that you can have to wear, to do things with. No. How much money do you spend on you to develop you so that you can go earn more money? Yeah, you didn't think about that. If you were to spend 10, 15% of the amount of money you earn on you to develop you, where would you be today? Who would you be today? And if you're really doing it to that definite end, that's where a lot of people get it wrong. Are you really studying to improve yourself to a definite end? How many books do you pick up to your definite end? If you're not improving yourself. Every time I've spent money on knowledge that's going to change me, I earn more money. Now think about this. If I would have never spent the money to change me, I would continue to earn the same amount of money every week, every month, every year. Because that's where you're stuck at. So you never take some of that money and move it to the investment in you, you stay stuck and you stay earning more or less the same amount of money. But when you take that little bit of money that you were going to spend anyway, you're going to blow it anyway. You know, you do it every week, every month, you're going to blow it anyway. But that money went and changing you, the outcome's different. Why don't you take a look at one of our classes, Business Matrix, Mastery Lifestyles, and we have Creators Lifestyles. We've got 3 programs devoted to taking people like you to the next level up. Make the promise you're going to invest in you. We've got a class that's coming up on Thursday in English, decision making. It's going to be from 6 to 9. It's going to be this Thursday. You have the opportunity to get into this seminar. You get a chance, we're here in Lubbock, to be here with us. You get the opportunity, really, of a lifetime. Because as far as I know it, nobody's teaching this in the Lubbock area. And it's rare that you're going to find people teaching this information. It's rare that you're going to find somebody that's close in your area, in the same city, that went and worked with Bob. I worked with Bob for several years so that I can bring this information back and help teach people. Again, make a decision. Your decision away. Our seminar is going to be on decision making and how to make sound decisions and how to stick to them and really earn the life that you desire. Take a look at what we're doing. Subscribe, shoot a like, and we'll be seeing you guys. Have a wonderful day.